Hi, I'm Mark and I'm passionate about English. Welcome to another mini lesson, and it's another mini lesson to give you a little bit of a taste of what's going to be in the courses starting in September. So as I've said recently in each mini lesson, the courses will consist or comprise of 4 lessons. Each lesson will be at least 3 hours. Each lesson will contain lots of different sections, interviews, idioms, pronunciation, songs, jokes. I'll be going out filming different places in Britain, and phrasal verbs, and also one thing, a word which you may not be familiar with, collocations. So let me first explain. If you watched any of my mini lessons in June, so each day I had 3 pots and I picked out an idiom and explained it without seeing it first. I picked out a phrasal verb and I also picked out a collocation. So first let me read to you what is a collocation. A collocation is a pair or group of words that are often used together. These combinations sound natural to native speakers, but students of English have to make a special effort to learn them because they are often difficult to guess. Some combinations just sound wrong to native speakers of English. For example, the adjective fast collocates with cars, but not with a glance. We would say a quick glance. Learning collocations is an important part of learning the vocabulary of a language. Some collocations are fixed or very strong. For example, take a photo, where no word other than take collocates with photo to give the same meaning. Some collocations are more open, where several different words may be used to give a similar meaning. For example, keep to the rules or stick to the rules. Here are some more examples. You must make an effort and study for your exams, not do an effort. Did you watch TV last night? Not. Did you look at TV last night? This car has a very powerful engine. We don't say a very strong engine. There are some ancient monuments nearby. We don't say antique monuments. Sometimes a pair of words may not be absolutely wrong, and people will understand what is meant, but it may not be the natural, normal collocation. If someone says, I did a few mistakes, they will be understood. But a fluent speaker of English would say, I made a few mistakes. Okay, so why learn collocations? Learning collocations is a good idea because they can give you the most natural way to say something. Smoking is strictly forbidden is more natural than smoking is strongly forbidden. It can give you alternative ways of saying something which may be more colourful or expressive or precise. Instead of repeating it was very cold and very dark, we can say it was bitterly cold and pitch dark. And you can also, if you are interested, improve your style in writing. Instead of saying poverty causes crime, you can say poverty breeds crime. Instead of saying a big meal, you can say a substantial meal. You may not need or want to use these in informal conversations, but in writing they give your text more variety and make it read better. So if you were doing an exam and you had to do some writing, then obviously collocations would impress the examiner. But yes, we do use them all the time. Well, I always say all the time. We use them a lot in English, and yeah, you just do need to learn them to sound more natural, if that's what you want to do. If all you want to do is communicate, then you can speak English in an unnatural way. But of course, you probably want to sound more natural. So I'm going to pick out a few collocations and try and explain them, and hopefully you'll remember them. Okay, so richly deserved. So, let's use my website. Okay, to deserve is you, because you did something good, then you should get something good in return. So let's say I really made a big effort to do all these mini lessons, to do all the courses, spend a lot of time. So if somebody says, and the courses at the website is successful, somebody could say it's richly deserved. And like so many words in collocations, richly here means it was very deserved, but we would never say very deserved in English. We would say richly deserved. I would recommend you check out all these out in the dictionary if you're keen to improve your English. I just want to go through quite a few without giving too many examples or too many explanations. Okay, a very easy one. It's a word we've had a lot. Run a business, run a restaurant, run a bar. We had one, run for governor of California. And this is, again, run a bath. So when you turn the water on, in English we say you run a bath. Not put water in the bath or pour a bath. We say run a bath. So again, if you want to sound natural, you need to learn that one. Okay, a wise choice or a wise decision. So let's say one of you emails me and says, "Oh, Mark, do you think the I'd really like to do your courses." Yes, I will. And I say that's a wise choice. That's a wise decision. Okay, it means you are doing the right thing, but we wouldn't say, not so much anyway, a right choice or a right decision, or a clever choice or a clever decision. We would often say a wise choice. But of course wise does mean or similar to clever. Let's pick another. Oops, got two. Okay. Here's another one which gives the meaning of very, very. If you are worried about something, I'm sure you understand that. Okay, I'm worried about my baby seagull because she's nearly flying, but not quite. And I'm worried that she will suddenly fly from the garden, which is not what I want. I want to take her to the sea when she's ready. But if I am very, very worried, we would say I'm desperately worried. Okay, so in this case, I'm not desperately worried about my baby seagull, but something else, some other situation, maybe your job, you're very, very worried you're going to lose your job, you're desperately worried. Or maybe a relative is ill or sick, you could say you're desperately worried. Let's have another. Okay, perfect day. Okay, this is a very famous Lou Reed song. Yeah, you could use many words in front of day, of course, but this is a very nice way. How was your day? It was perfect. I had a perfect day. I'll put that song on Facebook. It's a really, really lovely song. And the English is nice and easy. Okay. Okay, this is a little bit more difficult. Of course, you probably know remember. So when you know something and you can recall, sometimes difficult to explain a word without using other difficult words. But I remember your name, or I remember that word. Okay, but here's a word probably you don't know, and you don't really need to know it separately, but it goes very well with remember. It's vividly remember, and it just means clearly remember. And you could use clearly there, but vividly is a very good word to use. And again, if you were in doing an exam, an English exam, you use that in speaking or in writing. Just using that one word, the examiner would be very impressed. Okay, to speak highly of someone. Okay, so if, let's say you are telling somebody about my mini lesson and you say, oh, he's really nice guy, he explains things very clearly, and so on. So you are saying very nice things about me, very good things. So we say to speak highly of me or to speak highly of someone. Again, very common. All these are very common. That's why I cut them up and put them in the pot. Okay, here's a very easy one. A single parent. Okay, so in Britain, unfortunately, there are many single parents, and of course, usually it's the mother. So, she's had a baby, and then for some reason, the father is not around, or they are not together anymore. So she is bringing up the child or children alone. Or at least without the father. So we call this a single parent. Of course, it could also be the father. Maybe the mother has left or even died, and so then the father would be called a single parent. Okay. Very good. Okay, this is not useful if you are learning English in school or in a language school. Again, it's another word for very, very. But of course you can use very, very, but if you keep using that, it's not going to sound so good. It's not going to be so natural, and for sure, if you're doing an exam again, it won't impress the examiner. So if you are very, very shy, we often say painfully shy. And, I was kind of painfully shy when I was a child. I don't know why, but if my mother met somebody in the street, I would often hide behind her. I don't know. Anyway, I don't do that anymore. Okay, good one. Bang on time. Okay, so if my friend is said he's going to come round at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and he comes at 3 o'clock, we say it's bang on time. So it's exactly at the time he said. There's another expression we use, on the dot. Also, we use that a lot. We use on the dot a lot. Okay, this is also very good. Let's say you are on a bus or on a train, going somewhere, or in a restaurant, or on holiday, it could be anywhere, and you start talking to somebody for the first time. We say you strike up a conversation. So it just means you kind of start talking with someone for the first time, and usually that would be small talk. Small talk means where are you from, what do you do, how long have you been on holiday, or so on. So this is, it just means to start a conversation with somebody you don't know, but we often say to strike up a conversation. Okay, I'll just do a few more. Okay, smell danger. Okay, so if there's... It could be in any situation where something perhaps is not quite right. You could be in the forest, or you could be driving at night, and you just somehow feel that it's not safe. So, of course, you don't really smell danger, but that's what we say, to smell danger. A quick shower. Okay, that's nice and easy. Okay, so... my friend says, oh, should we go out now? And I say, oh, actually, I just need a quick shower. So we don't say a fast shower, we say a quick shower. So just a short time in the shower, a quick shower. Very useful. Okay, an old flame. Okay, a flame is what happens when, what makes up a fire. The sort of orange, red, yellow things. And but an old flame is an ex-girlfriend. And it would often be someone you had a strong relationship with. So you might be talking about her, or you might actually meet her just to see how she is, say hello or whatever. I think we don't really use it for men so much. It's much more for women, an old flame. Okay. A sharp increase. So again, this would be very common in business. You're talking about sales, or you're looking at a graph where you have the sort of, but if it goes up very suddenly, again, could be talking about sales, or maybe talking about people buying my course, and it's sort of going a little bit and then boom, we say a sharp increase. Could also be a sudden increase. Okay, enormous amount. Okay, so in the summer in Bournemouth, if it's hot, there is an enormous amount of people on the beach. So enormous is a very useful word. It means very, very big. And another word is huge. So huge amount or an enormous amount. So we could also say an enormous amount of money, or a huge amount of money. Okay. To tackle pollution. Okay, so pollution is the stuff from, I guess, factories and cars in the air, or basically any waste or bad stuff in the environment. Could be stuff in the water, chemicals. But to deal with this problem, the word we often use is to tackle pollution. And if you like football, of course, when a player tries to get the ball from another player, this is called a tackle. So it's an easy word to remember, but they go together as a collocation, to tackle pollution. Okay, I'm just going to do two more. A tiring journey. A tiring journey means it makes you tired. Maybe I had to drive from here for 5 hours, and it's a long journey and it makes me tired. It could also be because it was difficult. Maybe I had to, if I went by train, I had to change trains 3 times. So it's not an easy journey, it's a tiring journey. Did I say one more? Okay, very useful. Standard of living. So you can often see this in a newspaper or on the news. When we talk about the standard of living, it means a sort of what you can afford, your level of living, and it often includes a lot of things, like your access to education, to doctors, what you can afford to buy, do you have internet, and so on. So of course, in some countries the average standard of living is very high, and in some countries the standard of living in general is very low. Okay, there's only 2 more, so I'll do them. Conversation flows. Okay, so I explained to strike up a conversation means to start, and then if the conversation is very easy, you don't have any difficult, or we actually say, here's another collocation, awkward silences. Of course, sometimes silence is no problem, but if it is a problem, we call it an awkward silence. But if the conversation is easy, we say the conversation flows. So when I met her for the first time, it was very easy. The conversation flowed. And the last one in my pot, Yes, to pay a compliment. So it kind of means to give a compliment, but we often say pay. And a compliment is somebody says to me, Mark, I really liked mini lesson number 73. And I say, oh, thanks very much. And or I really like your shirt. So that's saying something nice to somebody. And the collocation is to pay a compliment. And we also had a few times, especially when I was interviewing Sonia, an idiom, fishing for compliments. That kind of means I'm trying to get somebody to pay me a compliment. Okay, so that's the end of this mini lesson. This will be the only mini lesson before the courses where I do just collocations, and probably I won't do quite so many in each lesson. I really got to try and fit it nicely together, so 3 hours. Of course, you don't have to watch the lesson in one go in each course, but there'll be at least 3 hours in different sections. So you could choose which section you want, or just watch them in order. In order would be first, then second, then third, then fourth, then fifth section, and so on. Okay, but yes, collocations are really, really important, and if you never knew this word before, again, if you're in an exam or speaking to an English teacher, they would be extremely impressed if you did use that word. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks a lot, and bye for now. Sorry, just one last thing. I did mean to show you this book. This is intermediate level, but I think a book like this would be very, very useful. I think you can see it. It's called Collocations in Use, or English Collocations in Use. Okay, that's it. Thanks very much. Bye.